Uh, Aleya, thank you so much for your time. First of all, I know it's really hard times right now after fire and all that happened in Southern Oregon. You're trying you're involved with so many projects out there. So I really appreciate you coming online with us on Story of Strength and sharing what is that motivates you and keeps you going. Because at Nita Naturals, we are all about self-care and growth and, yoga, Ayurveda, wellness overall, holistic wellness.
Yeah. So you want me to tell you straight up, first thing, what motivates me?
Well, first, if you
Or,
want to share about yourself first, that would be great.
sure. Yeah. So I am in private practice with 3 office locations, Ashland, Grants Pass, and the Oregon coast right now, just seeing clients in Ashland. Um, as a depth hypnotherapist with 4 schools of hypnosis, clinical, alchemical, medical, and transpersonal, which means lots of different ways to approach challenges, as well as a strong background in many, many modalities. I bring a lot of neuroscience, trauma-specific modalities. I have specialized training for helping to release trauma without further imprinting it, which is very important. Working with challenged pregnancies. I've had several women come to me who have had stillborn or miscarriages and have been able to become pregnant and keep their baby full term, and called me from the hospital saying, I have my dream, right? This is one of my favorite things. Also, women who have been considered infertile have come to me from all over Los Angeles and Alaska and all over Oregon and been able to either become pregnant, most of them, or come to the clarity and realization as to what they really want for their life. So sometimes women realize they don't really want to make the sacrifice in their life that a baby, a child would bring, or the life dedication. I also work with athletes. I'm endorsed by PGA golf pros and tennis players and performance, as well as people who are just committed to changing their lives. I've worked with a lot of women as what I call an actualization mentor, when women need clarity, feel lost, have a change of life, don't feel meaning in their life. I work with them and their lives changed, as well as people with all kinds of medical challenges. I'm a specialist in nervous system regulation. I've been seeing clients for 40 years and I'm always training. So the list of modalities and the list of challenges go on and on. The one thing I do not do in my private practice is see clients who have active violence in their life. So if they are perpetuating violence, they need to see someone else. Or if they are the victim of violence at that time, I can refer them to help and then help them through that process. And then I am also the founder and executive director of the 501c3 nonprofit, Keeping Ashland and All Women Safe cause. A lot of people know me through the work that I've been doing just the last 3 years. The second year I was seriously injured and down, so they didn't see much of me or what cause is doing. But this last year in 2020, I really resurrected greatly and feel fantastic, and have initiated many projects for this year. One is coming up soon. I can talk more about, and also what more is coming.
Wow.
So that's what I'm doing. And I would say that number one, there is nothing like the feeling of being in serious condition, whether it's an injury or an illness or just very difficult circumstances, and then arising from it, right? And experiencing the changes, the refinement of skills, the clarity, and for me, an even stronger calling and purpose than what I had before. So this is one of the most meaningful and wonderful chapters of my life right now.
That's amazing. That's really amazing, Aleya. How you're like, so how you got to do what you what you do actually. How did you start? What was your first thing?
Well, it's an interesting thing, and I don't quite understand it, but even as a child, people used to come to me for advice. And I knew I didn't have the answers, but I knew they expected the answers. And I actually remember a story in elementary school when we were shown a movie about how babies are made, right? And afterwards, all the girls ran to the bathroom and circled around me and said, "We don't really have to do that, do we?" And I said, "Don't worry, you don't have to do it," right? I didn't know. I didn't know. But they looked to me, and I found that that happened more and more in life. Now, I was a child of trauma. I grew up in a violent home. I was shell shocked. So I didn't know what was going on in life. In fact, one of the first things I remember going through my mind was the question, why was I created? And I even remember wondering, how do I know that word created? Like, I'm just little. But it spurred me into really diving the depths of life from a very young age. So I started out reading about existentialism and reading the prophet and going to different spiritual paths and hanging out with grown-ups. And I found out that this coming to me for advice continued. And it almost used to be not like stalking, but like very invasive. So I could be in the grocery store and people I had never met would come up and be telling me their problems and following me around the store, waitresses in restaurants. So I realized that I needed to get trained and I needed to make this formal, because otherwise I would have no structure in life to use this. But it was not my first career. My actual first career came about being trained as a stockbroker, because I had just graduated from college and I didn't have a job. My mother had died. I was taking care of my baby brother. And I was at a party, because I really like to go to parties.